Hey everybody, it's episode 343. What are your care plans for the weekend? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Prime Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Skip Wyss, and as always, I have the wonderful Dr. Julie Wyss with us today. Dr. Julie, today I want to talk about something in chiropractic that our profession doesn't necessarily like to talk about.
There's a couple things that come to mind.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a taboo thing. I find it funny because it's what our profession doesn't tell patients that actually lead this massive gray area to what chiropractic is and trying to do for patients. But more importantly is it's never talked about its importance, and that's the actual care planning. I've seen people all over actually different social media posts talking about care plans, and it's funny because people will go online and they'll say, XYZ chiropractor recommends this much care for yada, yada, yada. And they'll say like a symptom, headaches, back pain, or they'll be like a colicky baby. And then they'll put on there, does this seem right? And then they ask their friends. And they ask inside different forums. They'll ask inside mom forums, dad forums. They'll ask inside all sorts of different areas. Yet they won't ask the doctor. And I find that odd, because you're coming to a chiropractor who is a specialist in what they do, chiropractic adjustments. And then on top of that, there might be even more special degrees built in time with pediatric certifications or pregnancy certifications or sports certifications and all these different continuing educations that these chiropractors are doing for hundreds of hours beyond their doctorate. Yet we seem to want to poll the general public about if they think the care plan's correct.
Well, it's kind of, you showed up in that doctor's office asking for their expertise. So you're looking for an exchange, and when you're given that answer, then you question it. And I think that's the biggest issue, is that either the doctor didn't explain it, or for you to understand the need and how vital it is, or we're just always asking questions and what do you think about this, but we really don't want to hear the answers.
Right. And I have no issues with asking questions whatsoever. Right. If you have questions about a care plan that a chiropractor wrote you, whether it's from Prime Family or any other chiropractor here in the United States, you should ask the doctor the questions, the rationale behind it. Like, why are we doing this sort of care plan? Why do you want to see me this many times in a week? And what the reason is behind it. And I've seen reviews about us that have said, I don't want to go there because I don't want a care plan. And then what are you seeking chiropractic out for? Because if you're looking at chiropractic just for simple pain relief or symptoms relief, then you weren't on the same page with that chiropractor when you came in for care. That's one of the biggest things, is what you should be asked by your chiro or the person that's actually delivering your care in whatever health sense, what your goals are, correct? Wouldn't that be important?
Correct. And I think, I mean, it would be super simple. We talk about all the different specialties within chiropractic, but I think across the board, we can, I mean, just outside of chiropractic, right? We can say either we have a more vitalistic approach, more holistic approach, and we have those that like the medical approach and being very reactive.
Yeah.
Chiropractic also has that same vitalistic of, okay, let's try to keep you healthy. Let's do all the things that we can to keep these things from reoccurring. And then we have those that, hey, just show up when you're in pain. The symptomatic. And I think that is where that confusion comes from. And I don't want to say education, because we don't like to be talked to. We don't like to be, learned.
Right.
But I think that's a really basic understanding of when you're seeking out a professional, when you're looking for a chiropractor, you need to understand, well, does this office give me a vitalistic approach that maybe I'm coming in with this symptom, but I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. So that is why we're looking at longevity. This is maybe why a bigger care plan versus the other chiropractor that we can go to down the street will say, yeah, I'll just see you here and there. And sure, I can take care of your headache.
Yep.
But that's where it just doesn't go away. And I think that's the first question of, okay, are you just going to help me here for these couple of visits that I needed to get me out of pain? And is that it? Is that the expectation? Or can you do more for me? Because you can go lots of places and get less.
Yeah. And like you had said there, I think the most important part of that is you have to be on the same page with your doctor. You know, if from a doctor's perspective, and the doctors out there that listen, and the chiropractors that listen, you need to be on the same page with your patient, meaning I can't have you come into my office and let's say we're going shopping and I'm going to go buy vegetables and you're going to go buy fruit. If I don't know that you're buying fruit, I'm assuming we're going to buy vegetables that day. And maybe we'll get some cucumbers and some tomatoes and make a really nice summer salad. And you're going to go and buy fruit and make a fruit salad. Well, those are two different salads, 100% different. You're trying to create a salad that's fruity and be a dessert. I'm trying to create a salad that could possibly be part of the main course or an appetizer. But they serve two different purposes. And if I'm not on the same page with you, I'm going to present you with a salad and you're going to present me with a dessert salad, and we may be thrown off by that, like tremendously. Or I might be really excited for your dessert salad, but you aren't going to want my veggie salad, right? And that happens, and what happens then is that you didn't crystal clear communicate from a patient perspective of what you were looking for care, and your chiropractor didn't communicate as far as what they perceive as the standard of care in their office. But once you're on the same page, that's what makes a difference. And there are a lot of chiropractors that are expecting to do some form of care plan. I would say the majority of chiropractors have some form of care plan in mind versus pop, click, get my headache to go away, I'll see you in 6 months. Which in my mind, when I'm taking care of patients, I am not your flavor then. I'm not your chiropractor because I don't do that. You know?
And I think that is a hard battle because we all want the patient in front of us, we all want to help and we all want to serve. But I think so many patients that seek out chiropractic don't understand the true benefits that it has to offer.
Yes.
And I think that is what, unless the chiropractor has true conviction and is okay to see that patient maybe walk out the door and go to somebody else, that it's become very easy for them to lower their standards to whatever that patient is asking for. And I think that is the biggest struggle. And that's the issue.
Yeah, and lowering your standards, you have to have like we talked about it last week. The standard is the standard with standard of care. But what is the standard of care in your office? And from a patient's perspective, what is the standard of care you want for your health? You know, is the standard of care, now there's no ramifications with what I'm saying here, but if your standard of care is, I just like to get things taken care of when I'm in pain and hurt, then you're better off seeking out a medical doctor and an emergency room type situation, and then go through your life. If you feel like you've been pain free, that apparently you're healthy, that's fine. That's your prerogative. That's how your body works. But most of us don't like that stage of healthcare. We want to be extremely proactive. We want to take a lot of steps to make sure your body stays healthy, gets healthy in the first place, and then stays there. And chiropractically, that's when our job actually really begins, is keeping you healthy, is keeping your body in balance, is keeping your body subluxation free, which is interference free, so its body can communicate to the brain and effectively run itself. But a lot miss that point. And then what happens is massive patient or consumer confusion happens, where I'm intending on fruit salad and I get a summer salad. And then I'm going to go online and get mad and say, well, you didn't give me the salad I wanted. Well, you never told me what salad you wanted, so therefore we're both at fault here. We both have to take responsibility because I didn't crystal clear figure out what your goals were, and you didn't tell me what your goals were going to be. Maybe you did. Maybe you communicated to me and said, I'm calling you today because I have a migraine. Okay, great. But where a chiropractor's mind's going to go is okay, Julie's got a migraine. What do I have to do over the short term to help her get out of pain? But then long term, I immediately don't want your migraines to ever come back again. Where you just might be trying to get rid of your migraines so you can go on a trip that weekend with your husband or with your boyfriend or something like that, right? Or spend time with your kids and just not feel like you want to pull your ears off and pluck your eyeballs out with a spoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But neither of us communicated properly.
And I think that's the hardest. I don't know if it's a misconception, but I think that's like the hardest thing to understand, that majority of the population, like they're seeing this as an option, but a short-term option. And so I think many people, like when they show up at the chiropractor's office, like that is the point to offer different solutions and an understanding, because if nobody else within their friend group has seen what true chiropractic is and the vitalistic approach, they're just going to assume that it's just a couple of visits and okay, maybe I need to see you in a couple of months again.
Yeah.
Or I get to decide what I want to do. And I think that brings up the same reasoning behind insurance, right? And why we don't accept insurance in our office, because then that makes the insurance company the doctor. When a patient comes into somebody's office and they say, I have this migraine and I want this to go away, they're setting their own care plan. And that is why that migraine, that headache is going to constantly be showing up.
Yep.
And then in their thought process, that is how, yes, I've tried chiropractic and it failed me.
Yep.
Well, chiropractic didn't fail. That provider failed.
Yep.
That's the failure, because the chiropractor didn't give the option of, sure, I can help you in the immediate. We can get this headache and this migraine under control, but they didn't set out what the lifestyle can look like to never have to deal with these things again. And it's a whole lifestyle perspective. It's rewriting your story to a whole new life. And sometimes that can be a little scary or like seem totally like there's no way that can happen, because nobody has presented it to you before.
Right. And a lot of us in our profession feel that you immediately want to be told what's going on, but then I have to somehow, in an hour's conversation, rewrite your brain and try to get you to, in essence, vote differently or want the other salad and convince you of that. Where I need to understand where you're at. And then am I okay with taking care of you? And are you okay with my standards of how I want things to happen? Because otherwise we both failed. Our communication failed. And yes, there's a lot of standards that we live our lives by that maybe the person on the phone or the patient you're out there right now listening, that you may not want those standards for yourself. And that's okay.
I say that's okay. That just needs to be communicated.
Yeah, communication is absolutely key. And if you don't communicate, sometimes those conversations, they can be hard, or they're a tremendous value in the fact that you didn't waste your time. A simple 5 to 10 minute conversation with anyone can save a boatload of problems. Because either I'm your guy or I'm not. Either you're my lady or you're not.
Right. Like you're not wasting time, resources. It's yes.
And we've talked about this with our daughter, and we've actually talked about this with our son too, is expectations. And I talked about this when I was at Palmer 2 weeks ago, is clearly figuring out what your expectations are of what you want in the situation you're in. And there's nothing wrong with laying those out. And in fact, we've seen some pretty incredible relationships come out of that. I mean, you've seen this with some of the friends you have that have gotten married, and they went into their conversation with their spouse like, these are my expectations. Can you meet these? No. Okay, well, this ain't going to work. We're not even going to, like, we can hang out, but like, we're not looking for a romantic partner relationship here. It saves a lot of time.
Right.
Saves a lot of problems, right? It would save me a lot of headaches. And I actually like it sometimes when I do get people in that are very up front. We're like,
Mhm.
I just want this fixed. Cool. It's going to take 2.5 weeks. This is the time frame. This is what you're going to see me, and this is your cost. Perfect. Now we're on the same page. That way I know that when 3 weeks, when 3 weeks rolls around and you're going to ghost my text and not show up or not want to come back, I'm not feeling that way, knowing that this is the end point. This is the stop point. And then I will see you in about 6 months to a year when this is back again or it's worse. And then I will see you in a shorter time frame. And then in a shorter time frame. But we need to be on the same page. Right?
And I think that is the communication is super important to set the standard or to understand, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And you can always be open to something more, or you can change that. But I think that's where, unless that's presented to you, I think many people don't know what those options are.
Right. Or who the providers are in the area. And that's when you're reading these, when you see these reviews online or you see these comments online where it's, I don't like the fact that they give a care plan. Well, figure out, I would ask why. Like, what was the deal? Like, were you expecting a care plan, or did you just want to be clicked and popped? I just wanted to be clicked and popped. Well, yeah, Dr. Skip isn't your guy for that. Like, or Dr. Julie isn't going to be trying to guide you with that. Like, that's not what you went there for. But did you ask those questions? And I found that over 18 years of care, like, some of those questions are really pertinent to me because I just want to know, are you expecting a fruit salad or a summer salad? Well, I want a fruit salad. Well, then I got to go about making this. The recipe's totally different. Right. You know, if I'm getting a summer salad and something sweet on it and I'm not expecting that, and visually I don't know, like there's not strawberries or blueberries in that thing, like I'm not expecting that flavor. Therefore, my mind isn't on page, and I'm going to probably hate it right away.
Right.
And then I'm going to think, well, Julie duped me. You know, or Dr. Skip duped me. Like he sold me a bill of goods and he tried to upsell me. And this isn't me being negative. I'm just saying, like, that's not the case because we just didn't ask the right questions to begin with. And I'll take 50% ownership of that. I'll take 100% on my part because I didn't ask the right questions.
I think it's like whenever you engage with like something new, even if you're like you're going to play a new game, like you read the directions. And so I think if you look at like, you know, when you're entering into a new relationship, like what are my expectations? When you're going to the chiropractor, say, okay, what is the expectation of me? What are you hoping from me? Or what are you going to recommend for me? And I think we live in such a fast-paced society that it's just we want that thing and then we're going to be on to the next thing. And I think that's just where we need to slow down, have that communication. And are we looking to fix this? That we're going to see you more frequently? Or is it just kind of like just come and see me whenever? But that's why that care plan, like that's that piece of paper to say, okay, this is what I know that you need. And that's what our standard is here. It's up to you what you want to do with it. And that is what our standard is, that no matter what, even if you're coming in for that headache and you only want to just come whenever, our standard is, okay, we see you, we hear you. We're going to maybe see you for 2 weeks. But here's what we know is what you need. But then you get to make that decision. Then we know that we've guided that patient. Maybe they're kind of like, well, that's ridiculous. And that's fine if you believe that. But we just know that you'll be back and you're going to continue to suffer. So that's why for us, that's our standard, that everybody gets a care plan, no matter where they are on that phase of just fix me, get me out of pain, or, hey, I would just want to feel great. I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. That's why everybody gets that, because at the end of the day, we have to be confident, like we're the doctor. It'd be the same thing that if somebody came in and we took an x-ray and we chose not to read that x-ray and we missed something extra. We talked about x-rays this last week, you know, but if there was a tumor there, we're held responsible.
Yes, we are.
So why are we not as a profession holding ourselves responsible when that person shows up that's been suffering with migraines for the last 6 years, that somebody hasn't chosen to give them the care plan that they actually need? They may not want to hear it right then and there.
No.
But that needs to be presented for them to know that, hey, here's another option. And we didn't miss that.
Yeah, something different. And the thing is that it needs to be backed up by stuff. Like your chiro, like we should be doing a really good and an amazing exam. We should be diving into your health history and doing a very thorough history on the phone and then in person. There's different standards that build up to the care plan you get. And from there, then we know what to expect and what not to expect. And then, but here's the other question I ask is like, are you getting followed up on both medically and chiropractically? Is your MD checking in on you? Are you going in for actual check-ins as with your active care plan with them? Most of you have never even gotten an active care plan from your medical doctor and actually asked them, hey doc, like how many times should I be here a year for you to check me and give me a physical and see how I'm doing? Well, the standard, like once.
Well, no, because it goes back to what insurance covers.
Right. It's insurance costs, and patients will ask then too, is this like, well, is this covered under my insurance? Most of the time it's not, unless you are in active acute pain. And if from a chiropractic perspective, patients will ask, like, what did I do to cause this? I don't know. Unless you've fallen or had an injury or been in some form of trauma to your body, I don't know one specific event that caused what's going on with you. It's very hard to put that together. Is it a myriad of things from your entire life? Yes, it is. So then is it really covered under your insurance? Probably not. That's for your insurance company to figure out. And then they're going to deny you. Like this is the hard part.
That's their game.
That's their game. Yeah.
We don't want to play the game. We want to give you the care and the health and the recommendations that you truly need. Not here or there. Maybe I'll pay for it. Maybe I won't.
And this is why the best chiropractors that you can see generally are not in network with your insurance company. Because I'm not looking for a quick payment from a third-party payer and have to then turn around and explain to them what I just took 4 weeks to take care of with you, when I had to sit there and have the conversation after conversation after conversation with you as a patient, helping you understand, helping you learn, helping you know why you're growing and getting healthy, versus trying to then prove that to somebody else that's never met me, doesn't know what I'm doing, and is just basing me based off of the other 30,000 chiropractors that they've talked to or some study that they're looking at. And that never validates what the true care plan is, because they're not actively learning what you're doing. And for me to try to put that into a paragraph then, or 2 paragraphs, that's ridiculous. So, and this should be a clue to you too, as the public or patients out there, or general consumer, is if you call a chiropractic office and they don't take your insurance, and I shouldn't say that, your insurance, they're not in network with your insurance, which means that your insurance doesn't actually accept them as the provider, that should actually be a massive green flag that you should probably attend there first, because they're doing something different that obviously your insurance doesn't want to really be a part of, which means it's not sick care, it's wellness, and you will get better.
That's novel.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Yep. Versus just stringing yourself along, right, and then trying to ask your chiropractor every time you see him, what did I do to make this happen? What did I do? I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Something little as a child that's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And now finally in your 20s, you want to deal with it.
Yeah, but I do know that the root of this malfunction that was happening, judging by how this, and this parameter, and the x-rays we took, and the scans we took, this just didn't happen yesterday.
Didn't just wake up with it.
Yep. And unless you were hit in an auto accident or had some incredibly bad trauma, your spine just doesn't change shape overnight within hours. It just doesn't do that.
But it'll finally just say, hey, I'm done and I want to give up. So that's why when you wake up all of a sudden you can't move or turn your head or low back.
Yep.
It's just finally said, okay, it's enough.
It is enough. And it'll start giving you massive alarms when you haven't been paying attention to the smoke detector blinking the whole time or beeping. Then all of a sudden it's just going to shut your legs down or change your bowel function. It's going to get your attention. With most men, it's erectile dysfunction. You change the way certain things work that they really pride themselves on or really want attention to, it'll get their attention real quick. You know what I mean? Like it's a big...
but do you want that smoke alarm to go off and on? And that is what people are choosing to do. And they'll feel great. And then, okay, I'll see you later. but then 6 months later, it's back. Well, what if we can just get that smoke alarm to never have to go off?
Heck, I just don't like it when the damn smoke alarm goes off all the time. That just bugs the crap out of me. So replace the batteries and quit it from chirping at night, because the smoke alarm always goes off at the most inopportune time. Mm-hmm. It's always at 3 a.m. when you're trying to sleep. Like, that is the worst. It's like having a cricket in your garage.
Yes, or a bat in the house.
Exactly. So, Dr. Julie, do you have anything else you want to contribute today, or any other?
No, that's perfect. And I think
insights?
This might be something brand new for some people, but I think just take it, maybe listen to this a couple of times, but then ask questions, right? Like, you can always go many places and get less, but what if you finally got more?
I'm going to leave you with that. Everybody have an amazing weekend and an amazing week. And yeah, maybe you just need more. Bye, everyone.